Hello, trading has closed on October 30th, 2024. We'll do our disclaimer, go over our calls, make some predictions. Well, I had personal business this afternoon, and Monday through Wednesday of next week I'll have personal business again. But I'll do the best I can. Just remember I can be completely wrong, and if you're going to trade on my calls, do so at your own risk. Look for the pattern today with the early high, which is this. Tomorrow should have the early low. We get a target 58.2384. That printed. Here's your support, and here's your resistance in that area. We have a new target for tomorrow, 58.3942. I think that one might fail. If we gap down smartly, the price remains on the table, but not the time. I know that's a wall into the close. I know we could gap up, but as we will see, this might be the start of a sizable move on the downside. I'm not going to play for this tomorrow. Well, during the day, MEJT gave a buy signal. It just sets a higher target, doesn't give an entry. It did say this drop wouldn't stack, and then we hit the higher target. We got an ultimate sell signal in the afternoon. That's already played out. It's a higher target as well, 58.3942. If we don't keep up smartly, that's what the rules call for, but this looks like trouble to me. I'm not certain that one's going to work. Not tomorrow, anyway. Well, here's our long-term count, our long-term chart or daily chart. We had a reversal from the upper Bollinger Band. Typically, when the band's flat, the target is a challenge, not necessarily a touch of the lower band. So is that flat? We came close. I still think a challenge of this lower band is at least plausible. I can't say it has to happen. That's in the low 5700s. So we're going to pencil it in. I would like these lows to hold now. That's in the 5660. Let's see, where's that low? 5674. I'd be happier if that held. So somewhere low 5700s, mid to high 5600s, if we start down, which hasn't happened yet. But if we start down, I think that would be a price to look for support. This is just a reminder of what we said. Tomorrow has the early low, often in a regular pattern. Well, we've had back-to-back diamond on stilts patterns. It's now far enough away from the origin of this left stilt in the first challenge so that if we were to break this, all the support would be used up and it should have a mini collapse if that breaks. And it should break at some time. As we said, this was a pattern last week, which is a usually bullish pattern, and when it's negative instead, that low should fall at some times. Usually you don't have to wait that long, but if you look at the true high, we just stopped right there today, and we just haven't been able to maintain a close anywhere near that. We haven't even been able to maintain a close over this, have we? So I really think that this has work to do to fall under this line. And don't forget, when this breaks, this thing in the 5760s probably isn't going to be the end of the story. So here's how I'm counting this. It's a long-term bull pattern. I think we've completed green 1 of magenta 3, 5 waves up. We have to find a way to count 3 waves here down before wave 3 of multiple degree can begin. I think it's possible to count things this way. If that's 1, you could have an ABC. You can count this as a triangle, A, B, C, D, and E. And if that's the right count, we finished wave E here. And this looks like an impulse is starting. And if it's really an impulse, and that's really wave C, green C, you get a low around 5701. And if we did that, I would hit my lower MEJT targets, and I wouldn't have to go any further on the downside to make me happy. Now, that's just penciled in. We really haven't broken that line yet. Maybe we won't, but futures are down as I'm recording this. This sure looks like an impulse to me, and I think it's a valid count. So I'm just not so certain that one's going to print. Of course, I'm not going to bet money on it until I see how we open tomorrow. So Thursday's pattern has the early low, which doesn't tell us where we open. Typically, it's a rally day with a high in the final hour. However, the pattern often is irregular, and while observing the standard change in trend times, doesn't always rally in typical style. There's a higher MEJT target. If we don't gap down smartly, the rules call for it to print, but I think gapping down smartly is quite possible, as there's a wave count compatible with us having originated a new down leg today. And if, in capital letters, if we drop in impulsive style, the chart pattern justifies a drop to as low as the 5700 cash area before this bull resumes. Now, of course, other numbers might work. I'm not looking for 5700 tomorrow. But if we get that break, and it sure looks like it's coming, don't know till it happens, but if we get that break, we could drop over 100 handles here. And if we drop to the 5700 area, if that happened, I'd sure be looking for a reversal to go long, but hasn't happened yet. Right now, it's the pattern with the early low. We have a higher target. There's a good chance we gap down, and if we gap down, and especially if there's early weakness, it could be a long way down, and really all we have to do is maintain a break significantly under this origin of the left stilt. That shouldn't be too far behind to fall, and then we have targets even lower than that in the 5700s. We'll see if that works. I don't have any money on this yet. I'm going to have to see how we open. But it's the pattern with the early low, and that's today's call.